And gentlemen, it's your brother Bolo VNR. We in this space again. I was busy a while ago. Computer was running, The debate is going on, but I was listening from another device. And some very interesting points was brought up by the Honorable Mark Jefferson Golding in regards to the tax exemptions and some agreements. WHO, I think it's WHO, not WHO, but some agreements that has been upended by the recent moves by Donald Trump and the United States government, right? And ladies and gentlemen, I want us to really listen carefully, right, to the questions. Get the dictionary, try to really grasp what is being asked by Mr. Mark Jefferson Golding, because remember, he's a lawyer by profession, so he understands the legalities of contracts, especially contracts between countries. And listen, just listen. That's all I have to say. Just listen, because what I am hearing, we are in some serious hot water, and food security should be the number one agenda for this government and any government that is also facing similar effects of these tariffs. So let us hear what Mark Golding has to say. Yes?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I too understand the need for the tax break essentially that's been given to our security companies bringing in the armored vehicles. We all know the terrible situation that has been faced by them with the multiple robberies of ATMs and of armored vehicles arriving to either deliver. So I don't think anybody in the House would have an issue with that. I also want to endorse a concern raised by my colleague, the member for Western St. Andrew, in relation to the timing of the implementation of this amendment to the GCT Act, third schedule. As has been said, we are now in an era where measures including tariffs, but also not limited to tariffs, all sorts of measures affecting trade are being touted, being pushed, being considered, and it's a very unsettled environment because we don't know where it's all going to end. In the meantime, we are removing a protective measure that was in place for the benefit of local producers of food and exposing them to the loss of that protection. Yes, there may be other import duties and charges that the importers of these items will have to pay, but as has been said, it is well established that for some of our trading partners, there are heavy subsidies that their producers enjoy from the states in which those countries, those producers are producing those food items. So it's not a level playing field in terms of the cost structures that the various competing players have to contend with. And the removal of this at this time seems to me to be premature. And
Ball out! Whoa, we need help, Jesus!
That the various competing players have to contend with. And the removal of this at this time seems to me to be premature. And although it was announced in the budget debate a year ago, and it's only coming here now, it seems to me that much has changed since then in terms of the international environment concerning trade. And I think we would be well advised to wait to see how the dust settles before we rush to implement this permanently in our law. And I also endorse and would like to...
Remember, people, Law is this man expertise. Yeah, the JLP would be advised. They would be advised to listen to this man right here. And also, I'm gonna play Marky G first, and then I'm gonna go back to the PMP lawyer. But Marky G gave an extensive scope in his questioning that really has me perturbed. Listen.
And I would also like to endorse and look forward to hearing the answers to the questions as to how this particular measure originated. You know, who was bringing pressure against Jamaica on this issue? Which country or countries? Where did it reach in the WTO system?
WTO.
What was Jamaica's stance in relation to any proceedings, if any?
Oh, so WTO is the World Trade Organization. I am assuming. Let me go and Google that real quick. WTO. Let me Google that real quick and show the people. Alright? Because this has to do with trade, you know. WTO. Yes. World Trade Organization. That's exactly what it means. Let me show you on the screen. So, he's saying that this measure that they're going to put in law is premature and they should wait. What say you, my Jamaican people? I think that is wise. Rushing into things is never wise. I'm sorry. You have to be strategic. Alright? Gotta be strategic. I think this is an important part in our history, you know, what is happening right now. And yeah, you should definitely be paying attention to this. Trust me, this affects all of us. Let's continue.
That were brought in the WTO, which originated.
Go back. Let me go back a little.
How the dust settles before we rush to implement it permanently in our law. And I also endorsed and would like to. And I would also like to endorse and look forward to hearing the answers to the questions as to how this particular measure originated. You know, who was bringing pressure against Jamaica on this issue? Which country or countries? Where did it reach in the WTO system? What was Jamaica's stance in relation to any proceedings, if any, that were brought in the WTO system? How were those proceedings or that complaint or complaints, how were they resolved? You know, all we heard was these protective measures were being removed, but we've never had a satisfactory answer as to why this has happened. And I look forward to the answer to that. There's one other point I wish to make, Madam Speaker, and it is this. These measures are having retroactive effect. So the armored vehicles, the dispensation or the exemption, the zero rating, whatever it is, under the second schedule, which I assume is the SCT, and under the third schedule, the exemption under the third schedule, is taking effect from, in one instance, April 1, 2020.
Brace yourself for the ultimate solar savings event. Dive into the Super Solar Sale and enjoy up to a whopping 60% off solar power.
Similarly, 20 CT and under the third schedule, the exemption under the third schedule is taking effect from, in one instance, April 1, 2024, and in the other instance, July 1, 2024. Similarly, the exemption in relation to the raw foods, whether it be meats or vegetables, is taking effect July 1, 2024. Now, I have to ask, what is the situation in relation to the imports which have taken place up to this date, or up to the effective date of this order? Was GCT collected or not on these items? If GCT was not collected on these items, what was the legal basis for it not being collected? Because I'm not aware of any provisional collection of tax act orders coming here to, for approval to implement on a temporary basis these measures. Normally, under the provisional collection of tax act, the minister can vary a tax or levy a tax, but it lasts for a finite period of time and then expires unless it comes here and is approved by the House. No such orders have come in relation to this, to the best of my knowledge. So my question is, what was the situation in relation to these imports during the period from these dates, which they're the effective dates of the order, April 1 in some instances, July 1 in others from last year, up to the time of the effective date of this order. And this order is dated March 19th. And I believe it takes effect on that date, subject to being approved here affirmatively. So I want to know, was GCT collected on these imports in the intervening period? If the answer is yes, what was the, or if the answer is no, it was not collected, then what was the legal grounds or basis upon which it was not collected by customs at the wharf? And if it was collected, with this measure now taking effect retroactively, what is going to happen to the revenue that was collected? Are we now exposed to having to refund these people for the GCT that was paid on these imports?
Mighty interesting.
To be answered in relation to this, Madam Speaker, and I look forward to hearing the responses, or perhaps we should suspend the debate of this measure to give some time to the Minister to look into these very important issues. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Mighty God. People, we have to play that back a couple times, make it so keen, you know, because tax collected, where's the legislation? Was the tax refunded? A whole heap of serious question Mark Bolin just asked a while ago, you know. And I would think, ladies, and I am glad that they suspended this. And I think we really need to get to the bottom of this one. Yeah, because, yeah, the laws just being passed and not. This is why I need people that is competent in government, you know. You understand what I'm saying? That is really looking out for the people. Big up Marky G and big up the whole PMP team. Saying, wow. Wow, 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 wow. People want store of food, because this look like a serious food crisis. Store water. Yeah. Food security is now a national is a national issue right now. I can confidently say that based off what Trump is doing and how other countries are affected. Remember, it's trading us, so you have different countries that we interact with. So if we are importing these things and they're taking out the taxes off it, would that be a double jeopardy loss for us, the people of Jamaica? Interesting. I'm just asking. You know, I am nobody. I don't know nothing. But just, you know, deducing certain things that was asked that make me think about those things. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section, man. And remember, hey y'all, please remember to hit the like button. I know y'all come in sometimes and y'all forget, but the main thing, man, y'all gotta hit the like button, man, and share the live stream. Come on now, stop playing. Support. The like button is free, heard?